It's another week, which means it's another edition of the Weekly Coaches Show. I'm Ryan Boyd, and I'm joined not by head coach Dan Morris today. Instead, I'm joined by one of his assistants, assistant coach Mike Callan. Coach, excited to be here?
Very excited to be here, Ryan.
Did Coach give you any pointers or anything before you came on?
No prior training to this.
All right, Coach. So let's we'll start kind of with where the team's at now, and we'll look a little bit into the future. You guys took care of West Virginia this past weekend. You won a couple of games, and now you're 6-0 overall. What is your general feeling, before we get into specifics, what's your general feeling about the confidence level of the team right now?
I think the confidence level is very high, obviously. Speaking to Dan about the weekend's games, I think the guys were maybe a little too confident coming into the second game this weekend. And I think that's part of a winning team environment, is learning how to adjust and learning how to play the same way no matter who the opponent is, and on a given night, bring the same compete level.
Now, looking at the team more specifically, I think the first place to start might be with the goaltending situation. One way that I've always looked at it is you guys kind of have it's a good problem to have a lot of good goaltenders. And you guys have had Matt Mickno, who's played really well, Fedor Dushkin's playing well, and then even a guy like Brendan Madden, who's been hurt. When he gets back, you guys are going to have at least 3 or 4 good goaltenders. How important is that to the team?
I think it's very important to have guys to have his options, and it's important for those goaltenders to work hard in practice. I think we're very happy with Smitty as well. He comes in every day and just does everything right, so very happy with his progress. And certainly, they have to play hard in practice and stop shots, and who plays best in that week, gets in games on the weekends.
Now, as far as the rest of the team is concerned, one thing that I think I noticed a lot about our team is that there's a lot of physicality, and I think that's something that Dan Morris and the rest of you guys kind of preach. You guys like to be a physical team, but this past weekend there seemed to be quite a few penalties, quite a few guys in the penalty box. Is that something you guys are working on in practice this week, trying to keep the team out of there a little bit?
I think it's, we have a smaller rink, so obviously we want to take advantage of that by making the ice surface smaller for opposing teams. Like I said, it's part of a developing process throughout the course of the season, so as far as penalties go, it's really getting their attitudes in line and everybody on board, knowing that when you're in the bench or you're in the penalty box, you're hurting the team, not helping out the team by being in there. And we have a lot of depth on our team, so anytime we can have 5-on-5 play or be up by one guy and vice versa on the power play, we're going to be successful and tire teams out by the third period.
And going off of that thing you said about depth right there, we all know that the top line for this team is really, really impressive. Tyler Pilmore, Nick Rostek, guys like that have been doing it for years. But it seems like so far this year, it doesn't really matter which line is out there, whether they're freshmen or seniors. It seems like everybody's doing their part. Is that kind of the general feeling around the team?
Yeah, I think so. I think, last week on Friday night, we've really found a line that meshed with Hudak, Williams, and DLT there. And I think the rest of the order kind of set in line, per se, and creating some fluid movement. I think once we get Wetzel back, it's going to be huge just to have 3 rolling lines that all can produce. And I think the fourth line there does a really great job of shutting down the opponent's other top lines and getting underneath their skin.
Now, moving forward, or looking forward, I should say, to this week, you guys have a pretty big matchup with Oklahoma. They're right now the number 4 team in the nation, whether you look at standings much or not, but they are number 4. What are the preparations like this week? I know you told me before this that you guys don't know a lot about them, but what are you guys working on as you prepare for them?
I think it's just knowing the tasks that we need to be better at, and working at them throughout the course of the week, as well as just kind of honing in and getting ready for maybe a harder bit of the schedule. I'm sure the boys are amped up for the course of the week here.
And it's going to be homecoming, which is definitely exciting. Are you guys expecting? Hopefully you're expecting a pretty big crowd and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right. Well, this weekend the Bobcats will be in action. They'll play 2 games at home at Burt Arena against Oklahoma. We'll have a preview and everything up on the website as that gets closer. But until then, he's been Mike Callan, assistant coach for the Bobcats. I've been Ryan Boyd, and this has been another edition of the Weekly Coaches Show.